The exploration shuttle, the Pioneer, descended through the violet-tinged clouds of Xylos. The planet's atmosphere was breathable, but the air itself felt different, thick with a sweet, cloying scent of alien pollen. The continent they were sent to survey was a single, massive landmass surrounded by a calm, unnaturally still ocean. The shuttle sensors detected no large life forms, no radio signals, nothing. It was a world waiting, silent. "This is the greatest blank canvas in history," Leo said, but Ethan's military instinct screamed that it was a quiet before a storm. When they landed near a dense, bioluminescent jungle, they were all stunned. The trees pulsed with a soft, internal green light. The ground was soft and spongy, covered in a moss-like organism that seemed to hum a low energy. Dr. Thorne was ecstatic, already collecting samples, his scanner beeping with data on life forms that broke every known rule of biology. A few clicks from their landing site, they found it, not a ruin, but a structure. A vast, sprawling palace built of a white, crystalline material that seemed to grow from the planet itself. Its design was a defiance of natural law, with sharp, asymmetrical angles that hurt the eyes to follow. It was clearly not human. And inside they found him, Cyrus Blackwood. He was humanoid, but his perfection was unsettling. He greeted them not with surprise, but with a weary air of a host expecting guests. "Welcome, travelers. I have been waiting for you. I am the curator of this place," he said, his voice both charming and cold, speaking perfect English. He called himself the last member of a race that had long since ascended beyond physical form, leaving him as a warden of their planetary preserve. He gave them a tour of the structure. The walls were adorned with hunting trophies, but they were no animals they could recognize. There was a skeleton of a creature with 6 limbs and a carapace of polished metal. There was a head of a beast whose eyes had been replaced with multifaceted crystal lenses. "Wow, are these the natives?" Leo asked. Cyrus turned slowly to look at him. "Some things are not what they seem, Leo. Some things are better." During their first night in the alien structure, Cyrus spoke of existence. "You seek knowledge to expand your understanding. But true understanding is not found in peaceful study. It is found in struggle, in the fundamental dance between the hunter and the hunted. It is the purest form of existence." Dr. Thorne analyzed a fruit offered to them. It was cool to the touch like metal, and his scanner couldn't identify its chemistry. "What is this made of?" he asked. Cyrus smiled. "That's the beauty of it, Doctor. Everything here is unique. Just like you. You're the first new minds this world has seen in eons. And hunting the best is where the real fun lies." That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. He was looking out the window at the silent, glowing jungle. Suddenly, he saw a green light leap from one tree to another impossibly fast. It was not a ship. It was alive. He gripped his sidearm, a cold dread washing over him. This world was not empty. Morning came, but it brought no salvation. When they woke, they found they were trapped in their quarters. The doors had sealed, becoming seamless parts of the crystalline walls. The windows were no longer transparent, but an opaque, shimmering barrier. Leo yelled, trying to contact the Odyssey in orbit, but his comm unit was dead. "This is a violation of interstellar protocol. The Federation will..." Jessica started to say. Ethan stared at her. "The Federation is 40 light years away, Jessica. The only law that works here is the law of this place." Suddenly, Cyrus's voice came from hidden speakers, now devoid of any charm, replaced by a cold, detached finality. "Good morning, my specimens. I hope you appreciate the accommodations. The experiment begins now. Outside your door, you'll find a survival pack. From sunrise to sunset, this preserve is yours. If you survive until the shuttle's automated recall, you win. If not, you become part of my collection. Oh, and one more thing, run, because the warden is coming." The main doors of their quarters hissed open, revealing the dense, dark alien jungle. The 3 of them, Ethan, Jessica, and Dr. Thorne, ran out of primal fear. Leo, still recording with his camera, shouting, "This is insane. The world needs to see this," was the last to leave. As they plunged into the jungle, they entered a world of nightmares. The air was thick with spores that glowed when they breathed. The trees were so dense that the light from Xylos' sun was a dim, purple twilight. They stopped in a clearing to catch their breath. Suddenly, they heard Leo's voice, amplified by his comm unit, in the distance. He was screaming, "It's not real. This is some kind of hologram. Get away from—" "No!" Then came a strange sound, a sound that was neither animal nor machine. It was a high-frequency clicking, like a chitinous blade scraping against rock. Leo's scream abruptly stopped. A wet, sickening sound followed, like a thick branch being snapped in two. Then silence. Ethan, Jessica, and Dr. Thorne looked at each other. Their faces now held not just fear, but a new, horrifying understanding. This was real. They were prey. "He killed Leo," Jessica said, her voice trembling. Ethan's face hardened. "There's no time for mourning. He's hunting us. Now we survive." Ethan used his military training to guide them, teaching them how to move silently, how to use the alien flora for cover. Dr. Thorne kept his eyes on the ground. Suddenly, he stopped. "Look at this." There were tracks in the spongy moss, but they didn't belong to any creature in the mission's database. They were triangular, and with each step, a small, round hole was left behind, as if a bipedal creature was also puncturing the ground with a stinger-like tail. "What is that?" Jessica asked. Dr. Thorne, filled with scientific dread, said, "I don't know, but its morphology is perfect, a perfect predator." They moved on, and the jungle grew even more alien. They came to a place where the massive tree trunks were cut in a strange pattern, as if they hadn't been cut by a blade, but dissolved by some kind of corrosive agent. Suddenly, Ethan saw something on a branch overhead. It was a small device hanging from a glowing leaf. He climbed up and retrieved it. It was a type of tracker, but it had no screen or buttons. It was a piece of shiny black metal with complex geometric markings on it. The moment Ethan touched it, the device began to hum a low sound in a blue holographic map, and his veins and nervous system glowed on his arm. He cried out and dropped it. It's interfacing with your biology. It's scanning you, learning your physiology," Dr. Thorne exclaimed. At that same moment, they heard a voice from a distance. It was Cyrus's voice, but it was no longer human. It was a mixture of a growl and a click. "My little toy, you shouldn't have touched that. Now I can find you even without it." The three of them ran in terror. They now understood they were not just running from a man, but from something beyond their comprehension, a being that had turned an entire planet into a game reserve. They reached the bank of a small river. The water was clear, but it had a strange reddish tint like diluted blood. As they started to cross on a fallen crystalline log, they saw Cyrus on the other side. He smiled at them, but his smile was now even more terrifying. Then, slowly, a horrifying spectacle unfolded before them. Cyrus's human skin began to split. It wasn't a wound. It was like one layer was peeling off another. His synthetic skin shed from his body like a thick, brown shell, revealing the creature beneath. His fingers grew long and thin, their pointed tips sharpening into wicked blades. His face contorted, his eyes enlarging into deep, black voids that could see in any direction. His mouth opened, but had no teeth, only small, sharp, insect-like appendages. This was no humanoid. It was an alien, a creature that had worn a clone skin like a suit. Cyrus Blackwood was just a pseudonym, a mask. Jessica screamed, but Ethan clamped his hand over her mouth. Dr. Thorne was frozen, his mind trying to logically process what he was seeing, but it was beyond the scope of human science. The alien, now in its true form, made a strange sound, a kind of screech. Then it crossed the river so fast that their eyes couldn't follow it, running on top of the water as if it were solid ground. The three of them ran for their lives, but the fear inside them had now become a tangible thing. They were running from a hunter that was many times faster, stronger, and more intelligent than they were. All their efforts seemed futile. Night fell. Xylos' twin moons cast an eerie, dual light over the jungle. They hid in a small cave. Jessica was catatonic. Dr. Thorne was frantically analyzing data on his datapad, and Ethan's face was grim. He knew running would get them nowhere. They had to fight, He's playing a game with us. He's enjoying our fear. We have to break his game using his own weapons. Ethan said. Dr. Thorne suddenly spoke up. The heat and the sulfur. Ethan and Jessica stared at him. Dr. Thorne brought up a geological survey of the region. The tracker Ethan touched. When I analyzed its energy signature, I noticed it was highly sensitive to thermal and chemical fluctuations, and the atmospheric sensors in the shuttle detected a volcanic cave system nearby, with high concentrations of sulfur gas. It's a gamble, but it's our only chance. The temperature there would be extreme, Ethan said. Yes, and the sulfur gas could be toxic to its respiratory system. We have to lure it there, Dr. Thorne replied. Their plan was dangerous. They had to lure the alien to the volcanic caves. Jessica would create a diversion, using rocks and the strange, resonant properties of the alien trees. Dr. Thorne would use his knowledge of the alien's biology to predict its movements, and Ethan would lead it into the trap. It was a bloody game. The alien pursued them, its speed and strength terrifying. It tore through the crystalline trees with ease, and its screeches echoed to the alien jungle. Jessica hid and pushed a large, glowing boulder down a slope, creating a deafening resonance. The alien's attention was diverted, and it ran in that direction. Meanwhile, Ethan and Dr. Thorne ran toward the caves. Reaching the mouth of the cave, they felt the air was intensely hot and foul-smelling. Yellowish-green gases were seeping from inside. The aliens soon realized Jessica's trick and came back after them. Ethan went inside the cave, while Dr. Thorne hid behind a rock formation. The alien entered the cave. The heat and the sulfur gas affected it. The tracker on its body started to glow red and then malfunction. It roared in anger, a sound that was a mix of an animal and a machine. It lunged at Ethan, but Ethan stood right under a sulfur geyser, just as the alien pounced. Ethan jumped out of the way, and the alien fell directly into the geyser of superheated water and gas. A horrific scream echoed. The alien's chitinous armor began to melt from the heat. It writhed in pain, but the walls of the cave started to collapse. At that moment, Dr. Thorne, from outside, pushed a large crystalline formation that covered the mouth of the cave. Ethan looked for another way out, but Dr. Thorne was trapped inside. Doctor? Ethan screamed. Run, Ethan. Tell them. Tell them what's here. Run. Dr. Thorne's voice called out from inside, followed by coughing. The entire cave collapsed, burying the alien and Dr. Thorne inside. The sun of Xylos rose. Ethan and Jessica were badly injured and exhausted, but they were alive. They had won the game. But had they really? They had lost two of their companions. They were rescued by the Pioneer shuttle, which had automatically returned at the pre-programmed time. Back on the UES Odyssey, no one could believe their story. The command dismissed them as suffering from Xylos-induced psychosis, a form of space madness. They sent drones back to the planet to investigate, but found nothing. No alien structure, no Leo's body, and no alien. Everything was wiped clean, as if someone had removed all evidence with technology beyond human understanding. 6 months later, Ethan was trying to get his life back on a long journey home, but the nightmares wouldn't let him sleep. One day, he was called to the bridge. The ship's captain had a message for him. It was from the Federation's Deep Space Monitoring Network. Commander Carter, we've detected something. It's a single object moving at near light speed. It's on a direct course for the Sol system, and its energy signature matches the data from Dr. Thorne's scan of that tracker you found. Ethan's face fell. He understood. Cyrus wasn't alone. He was just one warden of one preserve. There were more members of his species, and by killing their warden, they had done more than just survive. They had proven humanity was a worthy challenge. They had issued a challenge in return. His victory was, in reality, just the beginning of a game that was now a threat to all of humanity.